record. That's a going. And the stream and the stream and the music.
Hey.
What?
We ready? Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Yo.
Hey.
It's Friday. Freaky Friday. We
It
like
is.
broadcasting live from home.
Yeah.
Self-distancing.
Going from the crib.
Right. Self-distancing today. How is everybody doing in this crazy time?
We holding on as much as we can, best as possible, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely practicing that
Everybody's
social
quarantining
distancing.
right now.
How is everybody taking it? Yeah, barely.
Right.
Look like Dave's taking it pretty well, tipping up a cup, I see.
For real. Always got the drink.
I mean,
on deck.
I can't be in this bar and not have one. I mean, that's how that goes.
Yeah,
Right.
it's no way possible.
You gotta
I would
have
be
one just right there. It's
I
right
would put
you guys-
a few cold ones in the freezer.
Did you guys hear about the party that somebody threw at, I guess, Rouge Park yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
And the
I
cops
did.
So the cops rolled out and gave everybody $500 tickets.
Or them
Yep.
summer candies, lemonade.
And I was just like, I just couldn't
Like you
understand.
seen the one that I had was drinking.
Who having a party? It's one thing to, just maybe sit in your car, enjoying the nice day, the weather, maybe
Yeah.
having a drink. But to get out and have a full-blown party when they banned it, social gatherings, is just stupid.
Exactly.
It's a little irresponsible, yeah.
Very irresponsible. I just didn't understand.
And it's like, hey, that $500 might come in handy when, they have all of those medical bills.
Right.
Or catching that virus for being stupid.
Exactly.
Well,
Maybe they can pay those fines when they get their stimulus money.
It's a social media world. Everybody want to go on social media. That's all it was about. Being the first person to put something up. I'm at Rouge Park, getting it in. You know how some people throw it off with that social media shit.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
It's all
or
about
like showing
what to be doing something.
Right.
Yeah, I'm doing
and
something and y'all not, basically.
Right.
Right.
Which
and
was
all of
crazy.
those pictures of people like hanging out together, like really, you're gonna put your life in jeopardy and everybody else's lives in jeopardy.
A lot of people really don't, like you can tell, a lot of people don't be
do
caring
some
because
stupid
it's an epidemic. Everybody, it's a lot of people not sitting still. If these bars are still open, I think some people will still be in the bar.
Yeah, I think
definitely.
I would totally be in a bar.
I know you would.
You know what? You don't count. You have one.
I went to Floods.
So
I went to Floods right before this was over, though, myself, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was somewhere. I'm sure somewhere.
I mean, I'm glad I got out when I did. So it was like literally the Saturday right before the lockdown. So 2 weeks ago now. I went out and did. I was hopping around downtown in Cass Corridor and Hamtramck, and it was crazy to me because I was, Cass Corridor. It might as well have been 2002. There was, 2 people at the bar at Detroit Shipping Company. There was 1 person at Temple Bar. Hamtramck, I went to Whiskey, and there were 5 or 6 people there. The biggest crowd I hit was Smalls, and it was one of their 80s night Thirst Wave industrial nights, which is usually, that place is packed wall to wall. That was the biggest crowd I hit. There were 10 people there.
10 people. That's crazy.
Well,
one of them was wearing the old school plague mask.
Oh my God.
My nurse friend says fucking serious. Don't fucking play with this shit.
It
is
fucking
serious. She said she works at the hospital downtown. She said they coming in every second. Not every minute. She said they coming in every second.
Oh yeah, my niece is a nurse. Same story.
Every second, there's something coming in. It's a new case, a new case, a new case, a new case. She said
Yeah.
they so overwhelmed, the nurses that's regular nurses got to become ICU nurses. The ICU nurse got to become a emergency nurse. The emergency nurse, the manager or the supervisor who ain't worked on the floor in 12, 15 years, she got to become a practitioner. Man, there's so much stuff going on. They say she was explaining all that to me. I said, this shit is crazy, man.
Yeah, they're saying that doctors that are still in school right now, if they're getting ready to graduate, like they're telling them to come on early.
Yep.
And help out with this epidemic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or pandemic, rather.
A lot of the retired nurses and doctors, they
Yeah.
brought a lot of them back.
Mm-hmm. To help with the overwhelming cases.
Man, this
it just seemed like it just started sprouting like every time I look up, then seeing so many people dying, like Donna Faye, a couple of parents from our school district has died already, and they thinking about closing school for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So
I actually just wound up hosting. I used the same interface and hosted a Q&A with the principal of my kid's school earlier today. And that was like the big question that everybody was asking was, okay, so Virginia has already closed school for the entire year. Canada's already closed school for the entire year. Is Michigan going to do the same thing? And he was just like, I'm just the principal. I don't know. When I know, you guys will know.
Yeah. I know my co-teacher, he said that he had found an article saying that we were going to probably not be in school for the rest of the year. And that's crazy to me. Like what started out as, a 3-week break is now, the entire school year.
Exactly. That is a lot of, and then, the work is like, can you really expect, that's my next thing. It's like, can you really expect this work to get done? Like I've seen the ones that's actually holding like video conferences with the students, but even that's going crazy.
Oh, that's what my kids are doing.
Yeah. But it's like, I seen a video of some people doing it, but the kids was just doing all type of stuff. Well, but some of them was paying attention.
I think the funny thing about this is this may, I think the definition of normal is going to be different when we come out the other side of this.
Exactly.
Like I don't think restaurants are necessarily going to be the same. I don't necessarily think bars are going to be the same.
Yeah.
And I think school may fall in that same category too, because what you're seeing is, okay, these kids are getting, no, you don't need to wake them up at 6:00 in the morning to have them at school at 7:30. You know what? Let them sleep until 10, and do an hour or two of work, and they're getting stuff done, and that's maybe okay.
Exactly. I think it is, because they sit there all day,
and
what are they really getting? But then for the ones, then you think about the ones who home is like a entrapment for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Those be the ones that you really have, think about and feel for. But it's a hard knock life.
Right. And it's really hard to find the resources to be able to support those children just because we're not allowed to interact with anyone like face to face. So it makes everything so much more complicated, and not having the resources for anything even is just astonishing to me.
Yeah, because I've seen there was like a few kids who was on the list who had computers, and it was some who don't have computers, and you got some who have phones, but then you got some who don't have phones, and it's like now they can't even go out and get it, or some of them don't have internet service. So it's just been like, it's gonna be hard to, like you said, service everybody, especially the ones that's more or less fortunate, I should say.
So that was one of the cool things that, and we actually talked about this last Monday night, our last show that we recorded in the studio. Comcast has opened up a lot of their services for everybody, not just here but across the country. Like the Xfinity Wi-Fi is supposed to be wide open now. The Internet Essentials program that provides broadband to low income or no income families. I believe they've dropped it down to free for the first 60 or 90 days. I can't remember which it is.
Yeah.
But enables you to get a broadband connection and a Wi-Fi connection in your house. So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but and then again, it's one of those things, and we've talked about this on the show before. How do you get that information to the people that really need it?
How do they get the access if they don't have the technology to get it? But I feel like at this point, everybody has a phone, so therefore everybody should be able to get a text message. They on Facebook, they on social media, so they should be able to get something, some type of assistance. But I did hear that too. So people, listening, if you don't have internet or things like that, Xfinity is offering free internet and broadband services. So call them. Shoot. And another thing I've been just going crazy about is just the shortage of food and supplies, and then the prices. It's like I seen a lot of stores that was going they was definitely going up on the prices, doubling the price of food and items. I'm like, oh my God. Now that I thought was a little ridiculous.
Yeah, the price gouging gets a little bit insane.
It is.
Yeah, I just paid $10 for a box of gloves.
Hand sanitizer is usually what, $1, $2. It's
right.
You
$5.
can get a little bitty one for $1. Now those little bitty ones are like $2.
Right, $2 or $3.
Also, the cool thing is, my buddy Andy that runs Detroit Bus Company has basically shut down. I mean, not that he really had much choice at this point, but basically shut down his company and turned it into a production facility for hand sanitizer. Went out and bought all the chemicals and bought all the stuff. So yeah, I forget what the name of it, but if you go to DetroitBusCompany.com, you'll see it. He's got it for sale, and he's selling it basically at cost to produce it. And it's he's selling gallon and liter jugs, and you can either go pick it up or he'll mail it to you or whatever. And there's a lot of people. They say necessity is the mother of invention. Case in point, here we are doing this way.
Right.
It's crazy how how people are kind of being forced to adapt in these times.
Yeah, and it's a different adaptation too. It's trying to adapt to some stuff that you're not even ready for.
Exactly.
It's almost like a third world country right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're not ready like Africa or Jerusalem or what I mean, different places in the world where chaos kind of happens to them kind of regularly, more frequently than it does the tsunamis in certain places. We're not ready for all of this catastrophe, and they know it. So they can put anything on us that they want to us. They can do anything they want to us because it's in their hands at this moment because none of us are really equipped. You got your hunters and you got your people that know how to do this and that, but everybody's not equipped for nothing like this.
They've been too cozy.
Not an epidemic or a pandemic.
People have been too spoiled. They've been too cozy with their little lifestyle, so they're not gonna be able to adjust to not being able to do the things they want to do. It's okay for a week, maybe 2, maybe 3, but a month, 2 months.
Say it's a catastrophe now, but say the infrastructure just goes crazy. Say that the lights go out now.
Yeah.
It'd be sick. It'd be sick.
That'd be terrible.
It'd be sick.
And we all using digital devices, so we won't be able to communicate at all because we won't have nothing, no power.
You understand what I'm saying?
Unless you can find an old phone in the closet.
Now.
Every street, they were red here.
I mean, they're the H1N, the bird flu and SARS and all that stuff hit there a lot harder than it hit here. And I think it's, to me, this is almost a 9/11 situation all over, where as Americans, we're still in Eric, and we very much have this. It can't. Well, guess what?
It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening to us. It's happening to you. It's happening to me. This is where we are. And that's why I think, shit like, the party we were talking about in Rouge Park, that's why I think, because people think they're friggin' invincible and they think they're invulnerable and they think nothing's bad's ever going to happen to them. And they're missing, like the big component that I think everybody's missing is that you're right. It may not do anything to you, but when you go to that family gathering next week and you give it to your grandma and grandpa and they die 6 weeks later,
Yeah.
do you want that on your head that you're the one that brought that to them?
Right. Or could have been the possible person to have done it, you know? That definitely makes sense because it's a lot of people going out there. That's what you're hearing about is mostly older people, but the young people are probably the ones that's being around other people.
So I have a theory about this, and I actually posted a meme about 10 days ago that I made. And and my tinfoil hat conspiracy side is convinced more and more that this is a thing. It was a hipster with a vape pen, and I said, I'm not sure how just yet, but I'm pretty sure that vaping is responsible for all this.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with a couple of nurse friends, and I said, look, let me ask you a dumb question. I said, so if you have a big, obvious answer staring you in the face, like coronavirus, do you even bother looking for anything else? So you look at so what are the symptoms of coronavirus? Like when it comes to like people dying from it, it has to do with tissue damage to the lungs. It has to do with, pneumonia. It has to do with, fibroids in the lungs and that kind of stuff.
Right.
What were some of the things? I mean, you remember like 6 months ago when all those stories about vaping were everywhere? What was it causing? Popcorn lung, fibroids in the lungs, lung damage, tissue damage, all that kind of stuff. So is it possible that people, like in particular Michigan, vaping has been insanely popular,
Right.
and it's been popular all across the U.S. Once they stopped allowing you to smoke in bars. So is it possible that vaping, led to some of this? That already weakened people's lungs, already damaged people's lungs, to the point where something like COVID-19 coronavirus comes along, and you're an easy target, and that's why it's making the rapid spread that it is.
Right.
Yeah.
That could be true.
And vaping was pretty big. They were promoting it, then they stopped promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the big thing at one point, e-cigarettes, leave cigarettes alone, move over to vaping. It was the new thing. It was the new thing. It had commercials and they were promoting it. And then it became a bad thing out of nowhere. Now the first lady, she had a thing against it because it made her son sick or whatever. So she had a big thing about it. So it's just like you can in this day and age, corporate America has so much influence on what goes on in the world today. It's so crazy. It's all
that is true.
Like I get that cigarettes are bad.
They want to make money. So if you can make money, somebody gonna back it and
because there's so many people pushing people to stop smoking. Okay, the correct thing to do, the politically correct thing to do is let's get everybody to stop smoking cigarettes. But let's get everybody to smoke this. It was still going to promote the smoke. Man, and then sometimes it's a catch-22 because they can be saying don't smoke it when they actually just know the more that we tell you don't smoke it, the more you're going to want to smoke it.
Right. Or when you telling people, you making people think it's harmless and people thinking, well, I'm not smoking the nicotine, I'm not doing this, but you don't know what is in the vapors. You don't know what's in the
well, and my whole thing with vaping from the get-go was you're inhaling water vapor into your lungs. So by default, you are asking for bronchitis and pneumonia. Forget everything else.
Mucus right there.
Forget the bad chemicals. Forget all that other nonsense. By default, you're inhaling water vapor into your lungs, which triggers pneumonia and bronchitis.
Exactly. And that's in those companies, because it was like you could get a vape pen anywhere, at the gas station, off the probably the dollar store, anywhere you could get them little vape pens, and they be cheap.
Juuls and A-Bays and
exactly. People were sending advertisements.
You don't know what they're giving you.
Exactly. That's why they said it was it's poison in the cigarettes. It's poison in this. It's poison in that. But it does make sense because this respiratory thing is a little chronic. I have seen an uprising in different thyroid issues today. It's been like since in the past, I want to say, maybe 7 to 10 years, I've been hearing it's just been a real large case of women with, fibroids and thyroid issues going on. So what's causing that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you look at, like, and that's the sad part, is you look at, like, even the medical experts are saying, look, we don't know. Like, we're making our best guess right now as to what's going on with this virus. But we don't know, because it's so new. It's, well, and that's the other debate, is because looking at all the symptoms and everything, like, there was a time, like mid-January, I was just sick for about 2.5, 3 weeks. And I look at all the symptoms of coronavirus and I'm like, okay, it wasn't a wet cough. It's a dry, raspy cough. Yep, I had that. And it didn't go away the entire time. You're typically insanely exhausted. Yep, I had that. I slept more in that 2.5 weeks than I think I have in the last 2.5 years. And just running down and I was like, you know what? I really think this has been around longer than they're letting us know.
Yeah, it has been around. It was at that one point when a lot of people were getting the flu and everything not too long ago, back, like you say, about a month ago in January, stuff like that. Everybody
they didn't have a test for it.
Yeah.
Because I went and I got tested.
The flu.
Yeah, so I went and I got tested and it came back negative for the flu. Guess what? Yeah. It wasn't the flu.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of people speaking on those type of symptoms in December and January and things like that. And probably before then. But
yeah, then we seen that. Okay, sometimes when you like they say with certain things they put out into the world, they get the test run. It did.
Oh, he froze up.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it is a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. I feel like it was a lot of sickness going on, like you said beforehand, and they probably just didn't have the testing or the name, or it hadn't spread out of control, or maybe they were just keeping it under wraps just to see the effects. But
well, in China China didn't let anybody know that this was running rampant in their country for 2.5 months.
Yeah, because it started there in December, I think.
No, I think they're saying the first confirmed case was like October-ish.
All the way in October. Dang, see, that's a long time ago.
Man,
what was you saying, Anthony?
They say this. Because I don't know. Maybe I'll be trying to read over. They say it's a patent on the COVID virus.
Oh, I read that. That was they actually, with Bill Gates, they said owned the patent on the coronavirus. No, that was, no.
Well, they say the coronavirus has already been out for, a while, years.
Well, so here's the thing to keep in mind. So, and this is where people get confused. So, coronavirus is a family of viruses.
Right.
And so it's like saying, okay, I look at it. So like our network is a variety of shows. COVID-19 is a specific type of coronavirus that is this specific strain that's causing all these issues right now. Kind of like your show is a specific show on our network that does your thing.
Right. Yeah. So it's a specific strand of coronavirus.
Yep.
Just so conveniently, it's 19 and it started in 2019.
Well, no, that's actually how they name it. It's no. So it was when they name them based on the variant of the strain, and the year in which it appears. So that's why it's COVID-19. If another one had showed up, like if another strain had showed up, it would have been COVID-19. I forget if they go COVID-19B or COVID-19-2, something like that. But that's how they name them from a scientific perspective. So
the thoughts on, your president and on his, comments that's so contradictory. One minute is everything's okay, next minute is we should be worried,
I am happy that stations are now refusing to carry his press conferences.
I appreciate it because it's just been overwhelming and annoying to keep listening to him not say nothing.
Well, that's why he has everybody else doing all the talking now.
Well, and so that's the issue. So like these press conferences that they have, the networks are saying, okay, we're going to air it when the actual scientists are on that know what they're talking about. But yeah, Trump, when you take this podium, we're done. Like we're going to go to other stuff. We're good. Thanks. We
Go to
don't.
commercial.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to hear you pontificate and babble and lie again. Yeah, that'd be great.
Exactly. About and lie again. Right, and keep lying and lying and lying and lying.
Well, I'm sure you've seen the commercial by now where it's, 2 weeks ago, this was nothing to worry about. It's a Democrat media hoax. It's da 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 da.
It's only 15 cases. We'll have it at 0.
Yeah, we totally have it controlled. Da, 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 as the case numbers are skyrocketing and skyrocketing. I mean, it's and I get it. Like, and on some level, and I will give him this benefit of the doubt. This is a rapidly evolving situation. It is.
Yeah.
But when you are the consummate douchebag sales guy that he is, and you are always trying to put that super positive hype, all is well, life is good, I'm the best spin on shit. No, dude, 2 weeks ago, you should instead of saying we're going to kill this, it's going to be fine. You know what? We don't really know yet. Let's see how this develops, and we'll listen to the scientists and we'll go from there.
Exactly. That's how I feel. But I mean, the one fun part in it, I guess, is the challenges. I don't know if you guys been checking out the challenges going on Facebook. I did the push-up challenge. I haven't did the shot challenge.
What you did? 10 push-ups?
I did 15.
Okay, then go on then. Shoot.
Exactly. So I tried to do an extra 5. I seen the push-up challenge, which was interesting. It's fun. I don't know if I can handle all of it, but it looks fun.
Is there a drink scotch challenge? Because I'm all in.
I've seen the shots challenge where you take a shot.
Now when you cough,
I was thinking about it
right now while we coughing, you can't be taking that much smoke in and cough like that and you won't be able to take food for 2 days that you cough like that.
Exactly. I'm like, oh my God. But I did
you smoking and you must be smoking some garbage if you hold in 10 puffs.
That's what I was saying. Like,
you can reach 10 puffs. You can reach 10 puffs. You smoking some garbage. I'm not gonna be able to reach 10 puffs.
Somebody gave you a bag of oregano.
Man, you mean tell me I take 10 puffs in and don't let nothing go, man? You can't be smoking no good weed. I don't care who you is.
I'll be out on the couch. Thanks. That would be the end.
I'll be right there on the couch, ass out. I got hit that 10 times.
And then no coughing.
Man, you crazy.
No coughing at all though, like none, not even a little, nothing.
Oh man, that's ain't what I'm wasting my time smoking that.
I'm just gonna say it while she's not here. I feel bad we lost Courtney because she actually looked like a cam girl when she was on screen.
I know, right? She did.
Where'd she go to? Oh, she probably lost connection.
Yeah.
She said her Wi-Fi.
She said her Wi-Fi is shitty over
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even though I don't know, it should be back up. And Hugh texted somebody he don't know how to get on there.
Oh, he texted you? Tell him how to get on there. He got to download the app.
Download the app.
Zoom.us. You're going to have to probably walk him through it.
Well, and for what it's worth, obviously, just for what it's worth, from a studio perspective and all that nonsense, we're not charging you guys the same rate when we do stuff like this and any of that nonsense.
Okay.
Because it was. I mean, it was really challenging for us. I was telling you guys earlier. We were up till like 1:30 in the morning Monday night, trying to figure out what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. Because technically speaking, we could be open, because there's an exemption in there for media companies. And it was one of the it really came down to I kept kind of banging my shoe on the table going, okay, just because we can doesn't mean we should. Are you going to be happy if one of our engineers comes down with shit? Do you want that on your head? Well, no.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we're closing. That's We'll figure out. So Tuesday morning, I went on a mad dash over to the studios, grabbed all the remote gear, and set up this little command center down here in the basement bar. And it's worked out well so far. I mean, I'm happy because like my biggest, because I'm just because we can doesn't mean we should, but like my biggest fear is I don't want to take away people's voices. I don't like, I know people want to get their voice out there, want to get their opinions out there, want to be heard, and that's part of what we do, is helping to enable that. And so like I'm glad we figured out kind of this middle ground to make it work.
To still make it work. I've seen a lot of people that was on the Facebook page that were doing it, different shows and everything. And, like you said, you still want to get out there. You still want to connect with the people, as much as possible. So we'll definitely try to get there. We're trying to get everybody on there. I don't know. We might have to start going, once, maybe twice a week, twice a month before till this is over. We'll see how it goes, just to make sure everybody can allocate time, because but everybody been working from home. It seems to be going pretty good. But that goes to show you then, it's like, is that going to be our new normal? Is everything is going to be digital concerts? You got the DJs online giving you digital,
Did you see that story?
Parties.
About the record labels are now chiming in on oh god, I forget his name, the DJs that have been doing the live sets for the past week.
DJ Night,
that everybody's been talking about, and apparently the record labels are stepping in, going, "Hey, where's our money?"
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Did they even get paid for that?
Yeah.
So was people paying to like go onto the live?
No. But so it's still I mean, like, so like even us, like, so we, like, our streams are licensed for what we play when we play live music and all that kind of stuff. So that's their thing, is, okay, well, where's our royalty check for the songs that you're playing, for that kind of stuff?
So they were trying to get royalty checks off the DJs?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Just because they trying to do something, just
and
this
is the same thing and this is the same thing that they do in clubs all day though, all night though.
So broadcasting in a club is different than broadcast. So the internet is closer to radio. Like, radio, and that's one of the, the radio stations, when they play songs, they basically keep track of what they play, and they cut a check to the different labels and all that kind of stuff at the end of the month, and off it goes. Internet, there's no like real regulatory committee that does it, but like, so like we licensed our streams with oh god, who is it, BMI, ASCAP, and so like we can play whatever we want to play when we're live, but we still clip it when we go out in syndication, because it's harder for us to keep track of what goes on in syndication. But like, so live, like, I can tell you how many live listeners we have, and I can tell you all that stuff, and tell you that we fall within the guidelines. But so that's what they're looking for. It's like, okay, you're doing these live streams on Instagram with 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people listening. Where's our royalty cut for those 20, 30, 40,000 streams that are going out of our song?
Wow. That's crazy. But like, how you supposed to get the money if it's like you just uploading yourself in the kitchen?
Right.
So
yeah, there's going to be some backlash.
And that's what I figured too. I said it's gonna be some type of something where you're gonna start having to pay or subscribe to whatever app or channel or whatever to even view those type of things, which is ridiculous. But I mean,
well, especially when you look at what those royalties actually boil down to. I mean, those royalties are like typically less than a penny per play.
Right.
But okay, so 40, 50,000 times less than a penny. All right, well, it's 40, 50,000 pennies, whatever. Okay, fine, it's $400 or $500.
Right.
Still,
that's just crazy. That's sick to even just come out and during that. But it's always gonna be the parasites and the leeches trying to figure out their way to make $1, or trying to get some money out of some situation. But I see that being a big thing, because eventually, if this lasts longer than we anticipate, then how will these artists and people that make their money in social gatherings, how will they sustain their life without having that money? They can't just go file unemployment. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at like, places like Old Shillelagh. Like,
right.
It stunned me when Old Shillelagh announced before even the closure order hit, the Sunday before the closure order was announced, Old Shillelagh announced they were closing. And that's one of those places where St. Patrick's Day makes their year. Like that's their bankroll for the year. Like those big tents they put outside. I mean, that, places like Gaelic League and that kind of stuff.
And they usually get the next few days after that too.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a like St. Patrick's Day was a Tuesday. That would have been like a 4-day part, 4 or 5
Yeah,
day
that'd
party.
been, yeah.
All the
They
way
usually leave a tent out for a while too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I feel like some of them bars, they probably was trying to still be open just to get $2, because I don't know how they gonna survive.
I mean, like, how you think a DJ's supposed to survive? A DJ only can survive playing music.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what else could he do? He came up with the first person to do it came out with a brilliant fucking idea. If you ask me, it was brilliant.
It was.
And it was brilliant. It's a tap in, basically tap in. Oh,
right.
D-Nice was stupid. He had Obama.
That's what I was trying to think of. D-Nice.
Yeah, D-Nice. He had Obama. Everybody was tapped in his.
Yeah. There they were. Everybody was tapped in with him, even celebrities, everybody. But then, like you said, here they come trying to hit you with the little, we need some money type
they
stuff.
They say he had over 200,000 people in there following him, tapped in on that live.
So that's what I'm saying. So you get 200,000 times, a penny. All right, well, that's $2,000.
Right. And not to mention, shoot, you got people with the copyright issues. If you can't play these people's song online because of XYZ, and
that's crazy, but I can play your shit in the club. I don't even get that.
Exactly. The establishment. You can play it in the establishment, right? But you can't play it.
But some people go live when they're in the establishment. Like some DJs record themselves while they playing at certain clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so much copyright crazy shit nowadays. It just don't make no sense.
For sure.
It's definitely a little crazy. It's a little too touchy. I understand it to a certain extent, but I also feel like, it's just a way for record labels to continue to make money and keep money in their pocket once the artists become more and more independent.
Hey, here's my theory. Mm-hmm. And so I stopped buying music and I started pirating music when the CD came out. The music industry promised me that music would be cheaper, that albums would be cheaper, and the cost of everything would go down. The cost of albums have gone up. The cost of CDs has gone up. Everything has gone up. Why? Because they spend $50 million a year trying to convince me that I need to listen to Amy Winehouse.
Right.
I don't like Amy Winehouse. I'm not going to like Amy Winehouse. So keep that $50 million and lower the cost of my goddamn CDs, and I'll stop ripping music.
Exactly. Because CDs were like, what, $10?
$15, yeah. 12, 15
Then they start going up to 12, 15. Yep. Then you got double disc, so now it's $20. Like, and then like you said, when CDs came, everybody was burning music off the internet.
Nah, it's MP3.
We had the mixtapes that came out, and they tried to get them because they felt like they were just giving away free music.
Yeah,
so all the mixtapes DJs got hit up.
Now it comes straight to your phone. Now that's why they killed Steve Jobs. He came up with all that brilliant shit. They killed Tim too, I think.
With the pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, they killed him. I don't care what nobody say. The man was brilliant. He came up with an idea that everybody wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it today.
He came up with an idea that we all have to utilize for the rest of our lives now. You know what I mean?
That's why you look at, I always laugh about Sony. So like Sony owned portable music. Think about that. Whether it was the Walkman or they hit with the Discman.
Right.
Sony refused to acknowledge the rise of the MP3 format and got left in the dust.
Yeah. Because they was the top company. Sony this, Sony that, Sony radio, everything. Nah, I haven't seen a Sony nowhere.
Nope.
But some people just, I think, like some people just
they
don't want to go with the times. They don't want to grow with the times. They still Like I worked for a person before, and it just seemed like because they were older, they just could never seem to understand that things were different.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use this method. I get this method works, but you might have to tweak it a little bit if you still want to use it. Because just doing it the regular way, like calling, say for instance, like when you're doing calls, you know, when you're working at a doctor's office or whatever, and you're just doing calls to remind people of their appointments and all this, like, you got to have a more strategic way. People go see the number, they ain't going to answer.
Some
Especially
people just not gonna see it your way. You know, like you listen to a dude like Gary Vee when he said, I just don't see the vision in Uber. I didn't see the vision in it. I didn't want to invest. He didn't want to invest in it. He didn't want. He said it just wasn't my thing. I didn't want to put my money into some shit about a fucking car, doing something and jumping in somebody else's car. He said at that moment it just didn't sound like a great idea. You know what I mean? But it's not as one of the biggest fucking ideas. You know, some people can, some people can't. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Hugh.
I don't know.
Made it just in time for the end of the show.
No. Yeah, what? What's up, sir? You said what?
You made it on before we were closing out. Thank God.
It's over?
Not yet.
Yeah, just get ready to wrap up. I got another show coming on at 8:30.
We got to wrap up in a minute.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, we got 3 minutes left.
Yeah. So
All right, well, shit, I'm out of here then.
well, you can say something. Jeez, for the last 3 minutes.
What's going on, everybody? Shit is.
How's quarantine life treating you?
I'm tired of eating shit. I don't want to eat nothing else.
Exactly.
I done gained 90 pounds.
You ain't do the push-up challenge?
I just got done doing the push-up challenge. I'm tired of the push-up challenge. I'm tired of the drink challenge. I watched every video on Pornhub. I watched every video on XNXX.
Oh, my God.
I watched every show on Netflix.
Every series on Hulu.
I made 26 TikToks today.
I just got on TikTok. I'm trying to learn that shit right now.
I'm going to get on TikTok, too. I've been on there, but I'm going to get more.
I'm tired of washing dishes. I washed dishes 90 times today.
Taking the trash out. Right. Going to the gas station.
Hey, you know what I did yesterday? I had a veggie day yesterday. All veggie. Bro,
I'm finna drink nothing but water.
I had nothing but veggies for dinner yesterday.
I'm finna eat ice until this shit over with. I'm gonna be fat as hell by the time this shit over.
Oh, Lord.
But on the serious side, people please take precautions. My nurse friends, they are talking about how serious it is in there. One of my nurse friends, she told me she went to one of the places that she works at, because she works at a hospital, plus some type of a home. She said 3 nurses showed up. She usually have 40. 3. They're tired. They're very tired. They're working 18-hour days. It's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Risking their health.
Risking their life. A lot of
Salute
the TSA
to the
workers,
nurses.
I watched the news, it says 75% of the TSA workers have gotten coronavirus.
Oh, my God.
Because they're dealing with people coming in and out of it everywhere, from all around the world. I'm on podcast.
They usually wear gloves.
It's just bad. You know what I'm saying? The gloves don't stop nothing for real. The masks aren't really stopping anything. Nope. They really don't even know how is it airborne? Does it stick in the air for 3 hours? We don't know. How will we know?
Mm-hmm.
If they knew a lot, it would be cured.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Hey, unfortunately, I gotta wrap this because I gotta get queued up for the next show that's coming in.
All
okay,
right.
brother.
What's going on,
All
Dave?
right.
I see you with all the fucking drinks.
This is
Exactly. Be life.
Be life.
Be life.
All right, we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Stay safe.
All right now.
Peace. Dave, I'm about to text you. I gotta ask you something.
Okay.
You stop trying to get freaky, girl, with Dave.
Oh my God.